Welcome everyone, this is Masters Joke, also Masters Joke 75 on Instagram. So if you haven't guessed yet, last weekend I went to Birmingham to the NEC for the toy fair. So I was at the NEC. What was it? Must have been. Was it a couple of months ago? Well, probably less than that. To the Collectomania 27. And I was there earlier in the year for the previous toy fair, but I thought I'd go again, specifically to look out for vintage Star Wars. I mean that's what I was going for. Reason I filmed myself making a cup of tea is because don't you just hate those vloggers who film themselves making a cup of tea, especially those Disney ones? Absolutely does my nut. So I thought I'd do it for a laugh. But anyway, so we set off early. What's it? Probably takes under 2 hours to get to the NEC from where I live. But no, it's a good drive. Opens at 10:30 in the morning to the general public, but you can get the early bird ticket, which I just don't. Because I don't live local, I'd have to be leaving really early in the morning, so it didn't really appeal to me. I had such a good time at the last event. Didn't think there'd be any problems at all. But when I actually when I got there, because we got there probably like 10:15. By the time you've parked up and actually got into the building, probably joined the queue about 10:30. And I've got to say, absolutely packed at 10:30. I mean, the last one I went in, I think we got there about maybe 10 to 11. We were a little bit late, and it was just a walk-in. Literally just turned up, walked in, paid your money, went in. But it was just absolutely packed. And I'd heard that the last show was scheduled to be in December, the actual last toy fair in at the NEC. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, that people thought, this is the last one, because usually the fair is quite it's more quiet-ish at Christmas, because you've got less stallholders and less people, because they're busy spending time with their families, which is what you should be doing at Christmas. But I was really looking forward to this one. As I said, I was looking for Star Wars stuff. There was loads of stuff was just over the top expensive, bargains to be had, but it was so busy. I'd planned to do loads of filming, but it was just too busy, so I did hardly any filming at all. So that's unfortunate, but I picked up some great stuff. One is one of my holy grails, Star Wars holy grails. Obviously, that's my own personal opinion and experience, but it was a good show, but just too busy, just too many people. So wasn't as good as I expected, but it was an all right show. I got some good bits and pieces, and I'll definitely be back in December. Yeah, I am disappointed that I wasn't able to go round the venue twice like I normally do, or do any filming, but I was able to film my Five Guys. That is also at the NEC. Love a Five Guys. Expensive, but let your eyes be your guide. Absolutely lovely. So this is what I come back with from Birmingham. I went for quality rather than quantity this time. I had a budget because I'm being very mindful about what I'm buying with Christmas coming, and obviously I'm aware that the new Doctor Who sets are. I think I've heard that they're going to be in B&M. I think from the 14th of November. So they're coming as well. So I'm just being a bit mindful. So I went out looking for Star Wars, and I went out looking for Star Wars vintage this time. As usual, there was loads of it. Very, very busy, which is why I didn't film much at all. It was just so difficult to film anything, if I'm honest. I mean, the sellers were really nice and polite, and really kind of informative as well. I mean, one guy, he had the Darth Vader kind of storage action figure case, immaculate condition. I mean, mine was £30 that I bought a couple of months ago, but this one was 40. It had the original piece of cardboard in it. It was immaculate, no wear to it whatsoever. And then I'm tempted to buy another one, but I've got one already. You know, I've got to be mindful. Loads of boxed Star Wars items, and that was my main goal. Star Wars. I'll have a look at some Doctor Who stuff, but it's so overpriced. I mean, the Star Wars was overpriced as well, most of it. But then I came across this Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. I owned one of these for it was Christmas 1985. I loved Darth Vader, one of my favourite characters in Star Wars. So I owned one of these Christmas 1985 for about 4 days. Now, I had 2 other brothers. My parents didn't have much money, so I knew I had no chance of getting any Star Wars toys. Maybe a figure if I'm lucky, but I knew I didn't have any chance of getting any Star Wars like vehicles. And there's a shop, or it used to be. There's a shop in Ponders End near the library. I don't know if it's still there, and it was called Just Outgrown. And occasionally I'd go in there with my mum if she was buying stuff, you know, second-hand stuff. I remember seeing the TARDIS tent from the early 80s. I remember seeing that in there in the box. It's the first time I'd ever seen it, and that was high up on the shelf. But my mum used to go in there on a regular basis, and this was, I think this must have been like December. So this was December, and she found a TIE fighter, the same as this, and also a Rebel transporter. Now the Rebel transporter is what I really wanted for Christmas. I knew I weren't going to get it, but it's what I really wanted. My cousin had one, and to me, it's one of the best play sets in the world. I was fascinated by it when I saw my cousin that she had one, and I really wanted one because it was also a carry case. No chance of getting one because they were so expensive. I mean, going back to 1984, the Rebel in the Argus catalogue, the Rebel transporter was £16.45. You know, 2 brothers. There was no way I was going to get that. And then Argus Christmas 1985, the transporter had reduced to £11.95. But you know, it was far too much money for my parents. So yes, she bought. She came across, and she knew I loved Star Wars so much, and she came across a TIE Fighter and a Rebel transporter. I mean, I don't know how much she paid for the TIE Fighter, and I remember the wings were broken, so the wings wouldn't well, they weren't broken, but they wouldn't sit in. The mechanism must have gone. And the Rebel transporter, I do remember she paid £7 for the Rebel transporter in Just Outgrown. And if you ever want to see what, I know you're probably not interested, but if you ever want to see what Just Outgrown looks like, it actually is it's in the film. What was it called? It was is it Mike Lee or Spike Lee? Oh, what was it called? It was filmed in Enfield and Ponders End. It was Life is Sweet. Jim Broadbent was in it. I think I can't remember who else was in there. A few famous faces. But yeah, Jim Broadbent was in there, and they filmed it in the next road from my nan as well. So that's another filming location. But yeah, so the actual Just Outgrown, you can see the logo. The shop's actually in that movie. So anyway, got these toys, which my mum showed me. I mustn't have believed in Father Christmas back in 1985, Christmas 85. But yeah, so she picked these up. And I thought they were great, and then she put them away because they were for Christmas. And then we were in Tesco's, probably like maybe 4 or 5 days later. We were in Tesco's upstairs in Edmonton Green, and they had a massive Star Wars sale on. So Star Wars was kind of phasing out, like the kids, and you know, the kids were into, like, you know, Masters of the Universe, A-Team, Transformers, Action Force, but I still loved the Star Wars. But I couldn't believe it. They had so much stuff. I remember it so well. So much stuff in Tesco's. And, I mean, obviously this was before the internet, so you didn't know until you turned up. And they were selling the Rebel Transporter for $6.99. So my mum had bought one with all the bits missing, like no trapdoor. I think it had one gun missing as well. She paid £7 in the second-hand shop, just outgrown. And they're selling it for $6.99, 1p cheaper in Tesco's, brand new, Return of the Jedi logo, boxed. So she bought that. She also bought a Millennium Falcon. That was $12.95. So that was the same price as the Argus catalogue. I think the Argus catalogue was selling the Rebel Transporter for $11.95. And then my dad took them back to just outgrown. They were a bit funny with them returning some toys. But his argument was, why am I buying stuff of you when I can buy it brand new for exactly the same price? So that was a fantastic Christmas. I remember it really well. But I only owned this TIE Fighter for 4 days. And because we knew it was being returned, my mum let me play with it for like a day or so. So I played with my few figures that I had. So I've always wanted one. Now this was being sold by a guy. He had quite a few Star Wars bits. Now, as you can see, it's got a bit of wire here, and he says, "Do you know what that was for?" And I said, "No, I imagine it was to keep the wings on." And he said this was because it was hanging in someone's collection, so it was hanging in someone's room. Everything works on it. I mean, there's no issues with the actual wing mechanism or anything. It's perfect condition. One of the other things, well, one issue it has got is that the wing's a little bit loose, but that can be repaired. I can tell it's an early TIE Fighter because it doesn't have the windows on the top of the cockpit. It's kind of like a solid. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a solid window. The only issue is this is a little bit loose. So there's nothing wrong with the actual mechanism itself. This is a little bit loose. Fits perfect if you put it the wrong way round. Stays on fine. But yeah, but I mean, I'm sure I can sort that out. No problem. And then the guy showed me the actual insides. Now that is absolutely, I don't know if you can see that. That is absolutely immaculate. You know, there's no corrosion in there. The sticker is still in there. It looks like brand new. So I don't think, well, let your eyes be your guide. I had to make a judgment. I don't think it's ever really been played with. I mean, the stickers are all original. And there's some sign of wear where there, you know, maybe there's a few little bubbles here and there. But I don't think this has ever been played with, if I'm honest. So I got that for £30. The guy says it hadn't been tested. So I have got a couple of batteries. So I'm a little bit excited to see if this does still work. So let's have a look. Right, so let's give it a go. Oh, wow! So the lights still work. I mean, that is great. The motor has seized up. So the motor, yeah, these did have. This should have a motor in there. This should make a noise. I mean, obviously, I've never heard one of these before, but yeah. So the motor doesn't work. Maybe that can. I'm going to look into that. I mean, if the fact that the light still works after 40 years, I mean, that is brilliant. I am well chuffed with that. That is fantastic. Yeah, there's a little bit of dust, so you can sort of tell. You can tell it's been. It must have been hanging somewhere, but it's in immaculate condition. I mean, whoever had it looked after it. So this is brand new and it works. So I'm well happy with that. So yeah, £30. Took a punt on that. Let your eyes be your guide, and that's paid off. So I'm going to look into that and see if I can fix the actual motor. But yeah, that was great. So, and then obviously I need to get Darth Vader for my TIE fighter. So I mean, I've got loads of these, and they're so cheap because let's get them on there. They're so cheap. I mean, I think I picked them up for like £2, and I always pick up a Darth Vader or a Skeletor or a Ranger, or one of the Star Wars Rangers. So it was all vintage. It was all vintage at the toy fair this time. So I got I bought 3 Darth Vaders, and they're all in good nick. Really, like, you know, I mean, look at that. It's like brand new. So I got 3 Darth Vaders. I think they were about £2 each. And I got 3 Sand People as well, because I like to army build. Don't know if you're aware of that. So I've got 3. Oh, it's really hard to focus. 3 Sand People. They're all in different condition. They're beaters. And how much? I think these were 2 figures for a £5. So I bought. So I think I bought them with the Darth Vaders. Did I? I think I bought them with one other Darth Vader. So I think I bought them with one other Darth Vader, and that was. I mean, they're not in bad condition. I mean, this is the best one out of all of them. But yeah, I think that, you know, for a vintage figure, I think that was a good price. So got them, and then I think these were all from the same guy, and I got a really good price on these. So I got a couple of. I'm sort of building up, like army building for my Cloud City set. So I got a couple of Cloud City guards. There we go, and they're in reasonable condition. I mean, the one on the left has got more gold than the one on the right, but you know, they were cheap. The guy did me a really good deal. This was a different seller. And then I love my Endor Rebel Rangers. So I picked up five Rebel Rangers, all in like different condition. I mean, four of them in my opinion are in perfect condition. This one's a little bit loose, but yeah, I just love this figure. And again, you can pick these guys up so cheap. No weapons. I mean, I've got a few of these with weapons. A lot of the prices there were absolutely ridiculous, but yeah, I think I got a few bargains. Right, so this was from the same seller that I got the Rangers and the Cloud City guards. Got it. I mean, I got the whole thing. I got a really good deal. This was included in the deal, and this was so this is from the 90s. Well, I mean, I love the 90s figures. I've got loads. Again, I've got loads of Stormtroopers. I didn't see these Stormtroopers loose were being, well, not this actual one, but you know, the standard Power of the Force 2 Stormtrooper. With or without weapons, they were being sold for stupid prices, like £5 without a weapon, or being sold as complete for like £7 with only one of their guns. They should have 2 guns, these Stormtroopers. I know my Power of the Force 2 figure line. Now, this is the deluxe crowd control version, and I think I had every single deluxe set, but never had this one. So, I mean, this box is completely roached. I mean, I don't know where it's been. I mean, it's I don't know what it's covered in. I think there's a little worm under there. I don't know what that is. I mean, I better sort this out before that wakes up and infests my house. But he wanted a £5 for that, but in the end we chucked it all together, so I got a really good deal. And it's just another figure for my my Stormtrooper collection, because I've got a big collection of Power of the Force 2 Stormtroopers. It's another figure that I like to pick up if it's priced at a good price, and you can get good prices on eBay as well. But I've got to say, some of the stuff was just so overpriced. But then I never got a chance to kind of. It was so busy. You never got a chance to kind of haggle, or a lot of the things didn't even have prices on, and it was so busy. You never got a chance to ask, all right, mate, how much is this? So it was so busy there. It was just overwhelming, to be honest. I've been there loads of times, never that busy. This, disappointing, because I was really looking forward to filming more stuff than what I did film. But yeah, that was good. Really pleased with that. And then I got the Daleks as well, so let me get them over. Right, so this was near the end of the show. So this is the History of the Daleks set 1. Now I did actually see this for sale so this was a good couple of years ago. So this was in one of the best B&Ms that I've ever been to, and I'll stand by that. They've always got the Doctor Who sets when I've been in the past, and this was the B&M in Great Yarmouth, and it is not the one in the town. It's the bigger one. I think it's like they call it like a garden B&M. As you're kind of when I'm driving out of Great Yarmouth, and it was when I was on holiday a couple of years ago. But I didn't fancy it. I didn't buy it because I don't know why I didn't buy it. I remember buying the was it the Second Doctor TARDIS? I remember picking that up, and I picked up another Dalek set, but must have been set 2, I think. But I didn't pick this set up at all, and I don't know why. But the guy was, and they were £20 back then. Maybe I was being mindful of my cash, but the guy was selling these for £15 each. So I thought, fingers crossed that I'm able to pick up the first Doctor TARDIS, which is due out this month. So I thought, I'll have a couple of them, £15 each. Let your eyes be your guide. I thought that was a bargain, really, especially as it's set 1 and I haven't got it. So I bought them. But the best thing that was late in the show. That's when I was leaving the show. But the best thing that I picked up, and again, I've sort of taken a punt on this one. I'm just gonna get it because I think it's absolutely fantastic. Always wanted one. Never thought I would get one. And this was from the same guy who sold me Darth Vader's TIE Fighter from the first movie. So let me just get it. And this is it. The TIE Interceptor, which I don't know. I never thought I'd ever own one of these. I mean, it was from the same seller who sold me the TIE Fighter. It's in immaculate condition. It's the same. I mean, it's got the original stickers on there as well. I mean, through time, there's a little bit of bubbling here and there, but the original stickers. I mean, what do you expect for a toy that is like over 40 years old? Now, again, I took a punt on this. This has got the strings, so this was hanging from the same ceiling as the other TIE Fighter. So yeah, so I imagine that would have looked good back, in someone's house. It's got a bit of dust on it and stuff, but it is really, really good condition. I mean, everything works. Like the mechanisms all work. I mean, I am so pleased with it. So the guy wanted he wanted £40 for it. So I actually bought this first. I bought this before I bought the TIE Fighter, and I actually bought the TIE Fighter again at the end of the day, just before I bought them Daleks. But yeah, he wanted £40 for this. No, sorry, he wanted 45. Again, he didn't know if it worked. It hadn't been tested. And I thought, I looked at the evidence. The guy seemed believable. I believed what he was saying. Looks immaculate, bit dusty. It's got the, he could have stuck these on himself, but I don't think he'd be bothered to. It's obviously been hanging on someone's ceiling on display. Let your eyes be your guide. I took a chance. He sold it to me for £40. I've checked the Argus catalogue. So back in when would this have been? So back in 1984, the winter edition, this would have been £19.95. So again, no chance of getting it as a kid. So 1990, I've checked another website as well. So 1995, how much would that be worth today? So 1995, the equivalent in 2022, £75. So £75. There's no way I would have got this. So this is, I mean, to me, it is one of my holy grails, because I've always wanted one that kind of that works. At least the mechanism for the wings works, and this ticks all the boxes. The guy also similar to the other TIE Fighter, he showed me the insides as well, and this is what sold it to me. So if you look at that, I don't think there's even ever had a battery in there. It's still got the sticker, like the other one. I mean, that is as shiny as the World Cup. I mean, look at that. Look at the shine on that gold. That is, I don't think a battery's ever been in there. So I've got another couple of batteries to test this one out. So, right, so after 40 years, is it going to work? Let's have a look. Oh, wow. So the motor works on this one as well, and the light. Oh, I've never heard one of these. This is amazing. How cool is that? That is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I took a punt on this. Had an idea that it had never been used, but you just never know. To be honest, I just wanted one where the wings were, the mechanisms were in full working order, and also maybe, I mean, you can buy replacement stickers, but this is, I'm so I'm so chuffed with this. So this was £40. £75 back in the day. I mean, they were selling was it Power of the Jedi? So the kind of the re-release of the TIE Interceptor. I think they wanted like £75. Not this guy, but like another seller. I mean, some of the prices were just ridiculous, as I mentioned. But yeah, no, that is absolutely fantastic. So it needs a little wipe down, probably with probably with like a baby wet one. but that is in immaculate condition. I'm so happy with that. But yeah, that's my pickups. As I say, sorry the filming's a bit short for the NEC, but it was just impossible. It was it was a bit ridiculous, if I'm honest. But you know, I'm definitely thinking about going at Christmas. Was it the 27th? I think. Might be a bit quieter. I mean, you do get less stall holders, but there was so much stuff that I wasn't able to see what was there. I mean, even looking back at my footage, there's stuff that I didn't actually see when I was there. I saw it later on the actual footage that I filmed. So anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I do go on a bit, don't I? Don't forget to like and subscribe. It lets me know you care. And I'll see you in the next one. The vlog is over.